I want to congratulate you, most of you, for making it, because you have passed the most difficult test. And the most difficult test is to have one of us, a human being like us, claim that he is a messenger of God. It's a very difficult test, and I can see now why God calls them as-sabiqun, those who are the elite of the elite, as-sabiqun, as-sabiqun, the elite of the elite. Because it's a very difficult test, and I myself went through it, so I'm speaking from experience. And God says they are ثُلَّةٌ مِّنَ الْأَوَّلِينَ, many from the first generation. We are the first generation. وَقَلِيلٌ مِّنَ الْآخِرِينَ, a few from the later generation. We are the ones who took the difficult test. Many will be jumping on the wagon in the near future, and thousands and millions are going to join us in the future. But they don't deserve as much credit as you. I was staying at Farima and Amir Kuleni's house in San Francisco a couple of months ago, and Farima and Amir, like myself, who grew up with the traditional Islam, they told us that Muhammad was the last prophet, the last messenger. But Farima and Amir passed the test, and they accepted me as God's messenger. They looked at the evidence, and they believed me. They actually believed God, because God said, لَا يَمَسُّهُ إِلَّا الْمُطَهَّرُونَ. God said that none can touch this book of mine except those who are worthy of it. And they said, since God revealed the miracle of Quran through this man, then he cannot be a liar. And they concluded that God is telling the truth. It's not as easy as I'm telling you now, but it's a difficult test. They passed it very easily. This is the toughest test. It is very tough, and I congratulate you. And that's why I went into Lent. And I have lost some of my dearest friends because I was subtle. But so I'm not going to be subtle. Mahmoud read the verse that says they are merciful among themselves and harsh on the disbelievers. I'm not going to name names. I'm going to be direct and straightforward. After congratulating most of you, there are a few individuals who I'm afraid may go to hell. If they are guided, they will love me for saying this. If they're not guided, they will hate me, which doesn't make any difference. So I was standing in the lunch line, and Lydia said how nice and smooth the conference is going. And Kathy Robinson took the words out of my mouth and said, it's not over yet. So Lydia almost jumped and said, what do you mean? So I said, yeah, it's not over yet. Wait till you hear me. So I may cause a lot of turmoil. I need to remember the test. Yes, the test is very difficult, but if the person is not a believer, it is amazing how flimsy the test can be. We had many people come to the mosque, and to the Masjid Tucson. They come to the Quranic studies, they come to the Friday prayers, and they will be seemingly good believers. Now this is what actually happens. And then, of course, they have to be tested. Surah 2, verse 2 of Surah 29. So that people think they will be left to say we believe without being put to the test. We will surely test them to distinguish the truthful from the liars. They have to be tested. And it is in my best interest. But I happen to fall in love with people easily, especially when they say we're believers. I was telling you that Edith is very dear to me, Ruz is very dear to me. And I explained to you this matter of revelation even though it is really impossible to convey. I want to tell you anything. I want everything to be open. I don't want anything to be mysterious. And I don't want you to hesitate. If there's anything mysterious or taboo or something, there's no taboo, there's no mystery. You come forward and ask. But why are they dear to me? It's because they're believers. One of the best advantages of being God's messenger is that I get to know the believers, true believers. It's such an honor because believers are a rare, precious commodity. God said so in the Quran. God says most people, no matter what you do, will not believe, and most of those who believe will fall in idol worship. So it is in my best interest that people go through the test and the hypocrites are sifted away. But like I said, I happen to fall in love with these people. So we have these people come to the masjid, appear to be nice, good believers, and then the test. And Satan sent a man who was very eloquent and very clever, a man who does not do the 5 prayers, claims to be a Muslim, and as he sips his whiskey, he tells them, Rashad Khalifa is bad. It's not exactly he picks his nose, but he doesn't keep his word. Or he scratches his left ear occasionally. Some flimsy real, and they say, oh, okay, then we'll not go to the mosque again. So it reflects, it hurts me, but again, it explains why I congratulate you for passing the test. The most difficult test is the test of messengership. I don't want to miss anything. I wrote some notes very quickly here. God says, I will divert from my revelations those who are arrogant. And the only reason people flunk this very difficult test is ego. And God goes out of his way in the Quran and repeats that, say, I'm a human being like you. I am a human being like you. And you know what you are. You're not perfect, nor is God's messenger, whoever it is. I'm a human being like you. The key word is like you. But what is God's messenger? Is a person through whom God is sending information. And the messenger himself is required to listen to this information and is required, like you, to look at it and believe it or disbelieve it. And it's the same difficulty that you're going through. But it is information from God. That's why God says, "Man yuti' ar-rasul faqad ata'a Allah." Whoever obeys the messenger is obeying God. This doesn't mean idol worship, which is used frequently to flunk some people. You're idolizing Rashad. We know better than that. We're listening to the information that is coming from God. There is another verse that says, فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ. It's a very strong verse. فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ. God is saying, no, by your Lord. فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. They are not believers. حَتَّى يُحَكِّمُوكَ. Until they ask your judgment. فِيمَا شَجَرَ بَيْنَهُمْ. In whatever opinions they dispute. ثُمَّ لَا يَجِدُوا فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ حَرَجًا. And then they find no hesitation in them whatsoever. مِمَّا قَضَيْتَ. About your judgment. وَيُسَلِّمُوا تَسْلِيمًا. Very powerful word. وَيُسَلِّمُ, submit completely. This فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. By your Lord they are not believers.